What's up, guys? It's Steve, Fanatic Perspective. We now live in a world where the Philadelphia Eagles are world champions. Congratulations to their organization. I don't have anything to say to their fan base. You guys know how I feel about them. But in terms of their organization, they did a tremendous job of overcoming adversity this season and weathering the storm and becoming a team, worthy of praise from a standpoint of from quarterback situation, and I've rehashed these things, but coaching matters in this league, and to go against Tom Brady and Bill Belichick and get into a complete shootout, a duel, a lot of these things we talked about, the Patriots consistently in Super Bowls, it's the game of inches, and Philly. They took care of the clock. They took care of the little details, and they were aggressive. They played to win. So many times these teams play to lose, and it's very frustrating to watch, like Atlanta did last year, where they just get super conservative. And in Philadelphia, there were several plays that stuck out in my mind, and the big one, obviously, 4th and goal early in the game, and they run a play which they had a lot of confidence in executing. They stole it from I think an old Bears playbook, and Trey Burton's able to throw the touchdown pass to Nick Foles. By the way, shout out to Nick Foles, Austin, Texas, Westlake High School. I am happy for him. He's free from the tyranny of one Jeff Fisher, but that's just yet another example of coaching. Nick Foles was almost out of this league. People thought he couldn't play. He was productive. That first year under Chip Kelly, got paid in St. Louis and played under an ineffective scheme with an ineffective coach, and he wasn't able to overcome it. He comes over to Philly, ready when called upon, with a better coach, somebody that also calls plays and designed an offense to his strengths after Carson Wentz went down. As a Cowboys fan, it's just so frustrating to watch. It's like, well, can we fire our coaching staff today? Because we're in the same division, but we're not on the same level. And man, I mean, even the things they seem to be a step ahead several times of the Patriots, who are always buttoned up and always prepared for seemingly all situations. And you got to give credit to the Patriots too. I mean, Tom Brady threw for over 500 yards today. It was the most yards combined in NFL history for any game. It was, it seemed like a Big 12 shootout, to be quite honest. I was disappointed with the lack of adjustments on both teams from a defensive standpoint. It just seems that everybody kept going to the same well a lot, and no one was able to figure out what was going on. I don't know if we'll ever know what happened to Malcolm Butler and why he wasn't able to play. That's going to be another underrated storyline as he goes into free agency, and his presence was missed out there today. I know Eric Rowe, he had a good playoffs and whatnot, but Malcolm Butler, coupled with Stephon Gilmore, he should have been out there in my opinion. I'm not ready to be in a world where the Eagles are champs. I'm not ready to answer to their fans. It's tough, and it's even more frustrating seeing how inept the Cowboys are from a coaching and schematic perspective, and the Eagles have a real system, and it's scary. The future is scary because when they get some of these pieces back and you add the player, you've already seen that system. Guys running wide open, timely play action passing. I mentioned a diverse running game in my Super Bowl preview. You saw that tonight with LeGarrette Blount. You saw the way they used Clement out of the backfield, which leads me to the controversial catches. I thought the referees got it right on the two controversial catches, the first one being the Clement touchdown in the back of the end zone when he got matched up on that linebacker, which was another great play call for those of you who keep track of the Eagles play calling. And then, obviously the big one, the Zach Ertz touchdown over the middle where he extends the ball past the goal line and they rule it a touchdown on a completed pass. They decided that correctly, in my opinion, that he had turned into a runner. I didn't really see the controversy with that there. And I know a lot of Cowboys fans and people around are saying that was similar to the Dez catch, but, the Dez catch, he was turning and extending. Now, do I think that was a catch as well? Yes, but to me, this one was just, it wasn't as controversial. I think sometimes we just, there can be moments of fake outrage from fans and people on social media. The first catch with Clement, that to me was a little bit more controversial because the ball was moving. Again, I thought it was a catch. It was ruled a touchdown on the field and a catch, so I thought, it wasn't enough to overturn it. And then I thought they correctly stayed with the call. I didn't have too many problems with officiating today, which is good. You want a clean Super Bowl. You don't want to have controversies. Now, going into the offseason, the NFL is going to have to, revise the language and how we, and reteach and how we assess and judge what's a catch and what's not a catch. It has to be discussed. I know there's going to be a lot of people complaining, but in the case of this particular game, I didn't see an issue. I thought they got that right. Again, I'm a Cowboys fan, but even anybody where you see your coaching staff and guys that aren't able to connect with players and aren't able to put players in the best situation, you just look at the Eagles. Doug Peterson's been there for 2 years. 2 years, man. He's got it done. Over the span that Jason Garrett has been the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, the Eagles have rebuilt twice and have now won. And man, I mean, moving forward, I would have loved to see Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott and some of the weapons we have being utilized. Some of the wide receivers, the Eagles don't have the greatest wide receivers in the world, but they do have enough talent there, and they're maximizing their capabilities. I don't even know if a lot of you guys picked up on this, but the person that threw the touchdown pass to Nick Foles, for example, Trey Burton. Trey Burton was a former quarterback at the University of Florida before he made a position change. So, it's just the little things to detail, and then the team adopting the personality of the coach. Their head coach is very aggressive in nature, and all of the big plays of the game that the Eagles made were aggressive. The play calling was aggressive. They consistently took shots down the field. Even the interception where the ball gets ricocheted. Man, one-on-one coverage 50 yards down the field. Yeah, let's take a shot to our guy. We have faith in you, and I want to see you make a play. It was several examples of just the aggressive nature. Putting Brandon Graham at the 3 technique, and he gets inside and makes a play on Shaq Mason for the biggest defensive play, one of the few only defensive plays that were made. But it again, a reflection of the coach, and they talk about it. I keep saying this quote from Remember the Titans. Julius said to Gary Bertier, "Attitude reflects leadership." Bottom line, and that is why the Eagles won the Super Bowl. Attitude reflects leadership. Bottom line. And the Cowboys, they don't have that. Several teams in the league don't have that. You got to find it, and that culture and that attitude can seep into your organization quicker than you think sometimes. It took the Eagles 2 years. 2 years. So, congratulations to them. Now we'll go into the off season. Everybody's going to have hope on their mind after the draft and after free agency. But it's typically the usual suspects here, guys. And now the Eagles are going to be, we'll see how they respond to being the hunted and not the hunters. But the system they have in place, it's a very, very scary future. And I'm not looking forward to it as a Cowboys fan. With that, enjoy your week, and I'll be trying to get that mock draft out to you guys. Thank you.